guys, Prowl 1701 here. Today I'm going to talk about the top 15 pseudo-historicals. I'm going to rank them. This was a request from one of my patrons, Andrzani Major. Originally, I think he wanted me to rank all of them, but there's so many. In some stories, it's really odd what counts as a pseudo-historical. Like Father's Day is a pseudo-historical because it's, even though it's in 1987. And a lot of times the list on Wikipedia counts two-parters as separate stories. The War Games I don't really think of as a pseudo-historical because I feel more, it doesn't feel like a historical to me with all the different time zones. I feel more like it's just people being brought from different time zones. I don't really think of it as a historical, so I don't put it on the list. There's a few others that, like The Girl in the Fireplace, which is in the future and the past. I don't really think of that as a historical. So I kind of had to go by what I would define as a pseudo-historical in my mind. So I'm going to rank the top 15 on that. Because if I'd ranked all of them like he'd originally asked, I would have trod on another list I'm working on, and I didn't want to do that. And so him and I talked about it, and we came to an agreement that a top 15 would be a good list. And I'm going to start at the bottom in 15th place with Remembrance of the Daleks. Now, Remembrance of the Daleks is better than some of the other stories we're going to talk about on this list, but Remembrance is this low because a lot of times I forget it's historical. Like, I have to remind myself that Remembrance is a historical, because it's easy to forget that for me. When I'm watching the story, I can always feel like it was set on, well, a contemporary time of when the episode aired and was shot, and forget that it's supposed to be in, what, the 60s, I believe. That can easily just get lost to me. While being a good story, I like Remembrance a lot. All three of the Dalek stories from the 80s are good. It's just real easy to forget it's historical for me. That's why it ranks this low. Next on the list is The Crimson Horror. It's just fun. It's campy, silly fun. Diana Rigg is great in it. I like the performances. It's proof that filler episodes are good in Doctor Who. It's one of the reasons why I hate that they've cut down on the episode count, getting these 8-episode seasons. It's because you miss out on these wonderful filler episodes back when you could get 12 or 13 episodes a season. And the performances are good. It's silly fun. It uses its historical period well. I enjoy it. Next on the list is The Human Nature and the Family of Blood. Again, I like the period costumes. One thing about the BBC on Doctor Who, they do really well with their period costumes when they go into the past. They do a good job of making you feel like they're there, like you're actually there. I like that it doesn't hold back with some of the attitudes of the time, which of course Martha catches the brunt of some of that. Freema is fantastic as Martha in this story, which she always is. Martha's an underrated companion. It's nice seeing Tennant get to basically play a different character in Doctor Who, as John Smith is kind of a different character than the Doctor. That's really neat to see. I really like the guest cast in this a lot. Especially the actors playing the Family of Blood, Son of Mine especially. They do a really good job. The young boy who's carrying the watch, which I believe that actor's gone on to be pretty well known, he's good. The actress playing John Smith's love interest, she's good. It's really good performances, and again, uses its setting well, its time period setting well. Next on the list is The Unicorn and the Wasp. And much like Crimson Horror, it's good, fun, funny, exciting, enjoyable filler. And yet more proof of why we need longer seasons for these filler episodes. It's so much fun to watch. Again, you have a good cast. And of course, Catherine Tate and David Tennant always bounce off of each other really well. So when you give them a comedic episode, especially with Catherine Tate being a comedian and being able to show her comedy talent, it's really good. You have several fun sequences in this. Also, it uses its setting to give us a very nice look at a historical character with Agatha Christie, with the actress playing Agatha Christie doing a really good job. It's just a lot of fun, this one. Next on the list is Demons of the Punjab, which I really consider to be more of a pure historical in my mind. I think it's everything but technically a pure historical, really, because it flows like a pure historical. It really is just history playing out. The aliens that are in it that really cause it to be categorized as a pseudo-historical are really just a red herring. And while the story does have kind of one major plot hole you have to ignore, other than that, it really is just history happening. And that's what a First Doctor historical did. And it does a good job, like the original pure historicals, of teaching a history lesson. Because I wasn't very familiar with partition before watching this story. And after watching the story, I was interested enough to want to go back and read about it, which I did. Which was, again, the whole point of historicals in Doctor Who to begin with. And then it just has a really good cast as well, especially the guest cast. I really like the guest cast. The two brothers especially, who are kind of at the heart of what's going on in this story. They're really performed very well. Next on the list is the Tesla episode, the Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, or whatever it's called. Part of that's just down to the guy playing Tesla is so good. Once again, Doctor Who meeting a famous historical figure, and the guy who plays Tesla nails it. Very much that George C. Scott playing General Patton thing of, you don't think of Tesla when you think of Tesla anymore. You think of this guy playing Tesla, and he's so good at it. I like the Doctor kind of fangirling out over him. I like the companions being wowed when they realize some of his ideas are stuff that we have now, or variations of stuff that we have now. The guy playing Edison is really good. I like that they snuck in the actress that plays Ronnie in Sarah Jane Adventures in this one. I love when they do stuff like that. It uses its historical characters and setting really well. Next on the list is Ghost Light, and I love that setting. Ghost Light is so atmospheric, and the lighting, I love that low lighting. I love McCoy running around without his hat for some reason. I don't know why, but that really works for this story. Ace having to deal with some of her past traumas is really neat. Excuse me. Yeah, I like that this kind of fleshes Ace's character out a little bit, which I like. The guest cast, once again, excel in this, with the family having this oddity to them. I mean, obviously the dad being an alien, but the mom, the daughter, every single one of these characters is very peculiar, very odd, which adds to the creepiness, the oddness of what is going on in this house. Also, I like the character of Light, and the effect for Light is pulled off really well for Classic Who. Again, I feel like it uses its historical setting well. Next on the list is The Time Warrior. Probably the best Sontaran story. I enjoy The Time Warrior a lot. The only Third Doctor historical. Also the first story for the Sontarans. And the first story for Sarah Jane Smith. And Sarah Jane's written really well in this story. I think a lot of people forget about 3 with Sarah. We're so used to thinking about 4 with Sarah, but 3 and Sarah are really good together. And sometimes I think Sarah is written better in her early stories. She feels a little more fleshed out and a lot less generic companion, like she kind of becomes in some stories later. I really understand her motivations in this story. She really feels like a reporter, and I just like her a lot in this. I love the location work in this. The actor playing the Sontaran is really good. Probably the best actor to do a Sontaran. I know he's also in a Sontaran Experiment. He's really good. The makeup for the Sontaran is really good in this one. I really like the guy playing Irongrad, or whatever his name is. He's a little hammy, but it's that good hammy, that Harrison Chase hammy, that just slightly over the top, but in a good way where it works. I really like that. And then the cliffhanger when he's raising the axe about to hit the Doctor is a good cliffhanger. And I like the fact that this story shows how tough a Sontaran is when a Sontaran's even able to beat the Doctor in hand-to-hand combat. Not just any Doctor, but hand-to-hand combat Doctor. Like fighting Doctor. Pertwee is the fighting Doctor, the karate Doctor, the Venetian Aikido Doctor. And the Sontaran is able to wear him down and overpower him, and I think that's very telling, and I think that's something people forget sometimes, just how tough a Sontaran would be in hand-to-hand combat when it's taking down fighting Doctor. So I like that, and I feel like that doesn't get acknowledged enough. It's also just a really good story, very enjoyable, the original effects and the updated effects, although the house exploding at the end looks rough on both the original and the updated effects. And I like the guy with the glasses, too. The one that gets sent back in time. The kind of professor one. I like him a lot, too. Next on the list is the Shakespeare Code. I enjoy this one. Again, I like the camaraderie between the Dr. Martha and Shakespeare. The guy playing Shakespeare is great. I like the actress playing the head Crenite. She's really good. I enjoy the story. This is another one of those, of course, stories where the Doctor meets a famous historical figure. And I think they have a good rapport between them. I like it. I feel like it's a good story. I like the special effects at the end. I like the fact that everybody thinks it's part of the show. And I also like the fact that it was so good the Queen shows up at the end and you get that little, you wonder why she doesn't like the 10th Doctor. It's nice we got an answer to that, but that's very interesting. Doctor, my nemesis. It's just really good and uses its setting well. And the setting is realized well. Once again, the BBC is very good at doing these period pieces in classic and in modern Who, and it shows in this story. Next on the list is The King's Demons. Easily my favorite of the Davison two-parter. I'll take it over The Awakening and Black Orchid any day. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a two-parter that knows it only needs to be a two-parter. The actor playing the king, or the impersonated king when he's in king form, is great. I really like that guy. The way he does his dialogue, the part when he's singing, he just sells the story for me. The other actors are fine. Anthony Ainley in disguise is hilarious because it's so obviously Anthony Ainley. There are other stories where Anthony Ainley pulls it off, like when he's the Portreeve and stuff, but this one is just so obviously Anthony Ainley. And so it's not a huge shock at the end of part 1 when he reveals himself to be the Master. I also enjoy that the end of part 1 takes place with a physical battle between the Doctor and the Master with them sword fighting. It's a little stagey and choreographed, but it still looks nice. And the end of part 2 has them in a mental battle, like a battle of the will. So I like that at the end of one part you have a physical battle, at the end of the other you have a mental battle. I like how that nosedives together really, really well. Next on the list is Curse of Fenric, which is, I can't remember if Curse of Fenric's actually in World War I or World War II off the top of my head. I should know that. But again, Ace having to deal with some of her issues and fleshing her out as a character I really like. I feel like Sophie plays this one well. This one is directed very well. The makeup for the Hemivores is very good. Again, you have a good guest cast. McCoy gets some great dialogue in here. We get to see more of Chessmaster McCoy. I do think Curse of Fenric and Remembrance are the two quintessential McCoy stories that every Doctor Who fan should see. There's just something about it where everything's clicking on all cylinders and everything's coming together in pretty much a perfect storm of an episode. Next on the list is The Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. We're in World War II again, and this is used to great effect here. The scenery is neat. The special effects are really good. The kid playing the kid in the gas mask is good. The actor playing Dr. Solomon, was that his name? He's fantastic. That whole scene when he's talking to the Doctor, and I love the camera work when you see the scar on his hand. That scene's just a wonderfully done scene. Christopher Eccleston is performing so good. One of the best performances of the Doctor ever in this episode. It's a great introduction to Jack as well. I love the ending when the Doctor gets to save everyone, especially this Doctor getting to save everyone. With all the trauma this Doctor has gone through, he gets this victory where everybody lives. He gets to save everyone. Because in Doctor Who, that doesn't always happen, especially in Classic Who. People die. Look at Horror of Fang Rock. People die. So for him to have that joy that he gets to save everyone, and just the unmitigated joy that is in his voice when he says that, just how happy he is, full of happiness. And Christopher Eccleston sells that scene with his Everybody Lives speeches. One of the best speeches in all of Doctor Who, and Christopher just does so much with it. It's a great story. Number 3 on the list is Horror of Fang Rock, another great horror story. This is a good one to watch on Halloween. Horror of Fang Rock is just magic. You have a great cast, the main cast, the guest cast. The original effects are good. They're a little napped in a couple places, but they hold up just fine. The updated special effects on the Season 15 box set are great. The story has a good atmosphere to it, a good tone to it. The actor playing Ruben is great before and after, if you know what I mean. And even the the one guy who gets killed first, I like him a lot. Ben, is that his name? Ben? I forget. He's not in the story much, but I liked him. It's a good performance in a nice part. And I already felt like I kind of had a feel for his character. And that's just a sign of really good acting. I really like Horror Fang Rock. Number 2 on the list is The Talons of Wing Chiang. Now, obviously, there are some people who are going to have some issues with Talons. I get that. I'm not here to debate that. I like Talons. Once again, it looks great. I love the Doctor's Sherlock Holmes style outfit. I love the location work. I like seeing a satire of the views of the time, which is very much what Robert Holmes is doing. Robert Holmes is very good at satire. I can understand the argument that maybe some of the satire that is in the script might have been lost in the execution. I can understand if someone wanted to argue that. I think it's well cast. I think you have some very good performances in there. And I think it's a really good story. I love the character of Magnus Grill. I'd love for Big Finish to explore his origins like before he traveled back in time, if they haven't done that already. I think he's a great character with no morals whatsoever. Kind of like the Ronnie in a way. So I enjoyed that as well. I like Tom Baker's performance in the story. I love Jago and Lightfoot. Because their personalities are so different, so it's interesting to see them as a team. And I'm so glad that Big Finish did get to do the spin-off series with them before Trevor and Benjamin, and before Christopher Benjamin passed away. I'm glad that they got to have that kind of mini-series they did for several years. That's kind of neat, because they are a great double act, which is, again, one of those things Robert Holmes is so good at. And then Leela in this one's really good, too. This story does have some nice comedic bits in it as well. And then number 1 would be Pyramids of Mars. I love Pyramids of Mars. It does a good job reflecting, again, attitudes of the time with what a lot of people would call grave robbing now, I think. Michael Sheard is great as one of the Professor Stallman. And then the other actor playing his possessed brother is really good in that role. Gabriel Wolf is phenomenally good as Sutek. I love Sutek's design. I love Tom Baker's performance. This is one of my favorite Tom Baker performances. I love how well Tom plays the Doctor in this. Elizabeth Sladen is great. Sarah Jane gets some stuff to do, which I like. I love the fact knowing she's a crack shot. The mummies look a little naff. They do look like robots that are bandaged up, which is what they are, but I wish they looked a little less like robots if I wanted to nitpick something. I think the original effects look really good. I think the updated effects that we got in Tales of the TARDIS looked really good as well. And it's just a phenomenally well-executed Doctor Who story with a great ending. And I feel like it uses its historical period well. And, of course, I do love the scene with the alternate 1980. That's also really cool. Just a phenomenally good story. So that's me ranking maybe the top 15 historicals, pseudo-historicals, that I can think of just off the top of my head. I do want to give an honorable mention to War of the Sontarans, though, because War of the Sontarans almost made this list, and I do think it's a really, really good pseudo-historical and a really good Sontaran episode. So, I want to know what you think of this video. Comment down below and let me know. I do want to give a shout-out to some of my top-tier patrons, Colin Coney, Sam Venning, Finn Perkins, and Unknown289, and Androzani Major, who requested this video. Very good video idea. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. It's very much appreciated. I also have a P.O. box down there if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. Link to the Amazon wish list is down there. Link to the Amazon UK wish list is down there as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.